Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. So today we have a different show for you today. We got about 15 minutes lined up. Hopefully we get through everything today. Today, but we have two pieces to go over. One is a piece from the White House going over the definition of a recession, how the definition has changed per the White House, and then the Senate Finance Committee questioning Janet Yellen last week about the banking crisis. So let's start off with the article from the White House. All right, so this is July of last year. Pretty much going to get through this really quickly. They're saying a recession has been traditionally defined as 2 quarters of consecutive GDP decline. What they're saying now is that the new definition of a recession includes various different factors: labor market, consumer and business spending, production, incomes, and various factors, right? So, in this last sentence here, I'll just read this verbatim. This is where they change the definition of a recession. It is unlikely that the decline in GDP in the first quarter of this year, even if followed by another GDP decline in the second quarter, indicates a recession. So, what does that mean? Just kind of means that the goalpost has moved. Not really sure why, but whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear them in the comments or sending me a private message. Second piece for today is going to be the Senate Finance Committee when they were essentially questioning Janet Yellen about the bailouts. So, this does not constitute financial advice for anybody. This is just simply reporting on the news. So, let me go ahead and just play some of this video really quickly.
Love to get a chance to talk about that. I love to talk about marriage penalties in the tax code because, quite frankly, they're still there. It's one of the things we've got to be able to work on. Energy independence. I did notice a whole new set of new taxes on energy companies in the United States that I think would hurt our energy independence. And there's still no definition for the $600 if you do Venmo payments to somebody up to $600. Now the IRS is going to track you. I've noticed that you've delayed that, and the IRS has delayed that. But there's a lot of questions with that, and new creative definitions of what it means to be made in America. We now have new treaties that are popping up that are not really treaties, not really free trade agreements, but are being declared free trade agreements to allow from the Inflation Reduction Act actions from Japan and Germany to now be defined as made in America. I find that very creative. Love to talk about all that. Don't have time. I'd need to be able to drill on a couple of things. Let me start with some of the banking issues we're dealing with on it. Will the deposits in every community bank in Oklahoma, regardless of their size, be fully insured now? Are they fully recovered? Every bank, every community bank in Oklahoma, regardless of the size of the deposit, will they get the same treatment that SVBP just got or Signature Bank just got?
A bank only gets that treatment if a majority of the FDIC board, a supermajority of the Fed board, and I, in consultation with the president, determine that the failure to protect uninsured depositors would create systemic risk and significant economic and financial consequences.
So what is your
And we
plan?
made that determination.
Right. So what is your plan to keep large depositors from moving their funds out of community banks into the big banks? We have seen the mergers of banks over the past decade. I'm concerned you're about to accelerate that by encouraging anyone who has a large deposit in a community bank to say, we're not going to make you whole, but if you go to one of our preferred banks, we will make you whole at that point.
Look, I mean, that's certainly not something that we're encouraging.
That is happening right now.
That is happening because depositors are concerned.
So, we will stop our video there. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that segment. To me, that was pretty interesting. And yeah, financial literacy is important. And I'm interested in that particular hearing simply because I'm a big fan of small businesses, right? If you watch one of my earlier live streams, I went over a piece from Cornell U that said that small businesses are actually, they account for about 2/3 of all new job growth in America, right? So that's putting meat on the table for people that work at those companies, right? And that just empowers people to live a better life, right? And be able to sustain a family. So that's our show for today. Pretty short, simple, and to the point. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them in the comment or send me a private message. I'll see you all next week. Take care.